You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way.
Yeah.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello, Carmen.
Hi, Sami.
Aw,
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so good to see you.
Yeah,
I
and thanks
miss you.
everyone for tuning in. I miss you too. Here we are in lockdown,
I know.
doing our first show, our first episode of Soul Sister.
Yeah, boy. And Carms, I just want to say, oh my gosh, I miss hugging you. And I know that when I do hug you, I'm going to give you one of those all-time hugs that you say, "Stop it, Sami,"
No,
because you're
please don't
hurting
do that.
me.
I don't like being squeezed, and Sami's always like, "Ooh."
So hi everyone, and so thank you for joining us. And this is so special for us, just especially in this time. Carmen and I have wanted to do something like this for a long time. So basically getting into the why of this show for us.
Yeah, what is it all about? Where did it come from? Why did we start it? Sure. Well, we basically, for those who are not necessarily in the entertainment industry or don't know our connection, we have worked together for the last 12 years, and I've seen Sam as a mentor figure. And now we've become very close friends over the last Chicago tour. And we often found ourselves in hotel rooms on tour, chatting, dealing with everyday life stuff, dealing with thoughts, ponderings, just, things that everyone goes through. And because we were able to chat it out and talk it through, we found a lot of solace in that. And
yeah, definitely.
And we saw that people were, when there was conflict or stuff, we kind of saw that people seeking attention were seeking connection, in fact, right? And that's why we kind of wanted to start a podcast about these chats. Initially for industry people, musical theatre, entertainment. And then we thought, well, kind of applies to everybody. Hey, Sami.
For sure. And I think when you talk about everybody, it's very clear that we've been living in an age where, there's been a lot of a push away from connection to self and connection to each other. And I think especially now that we're socially distanced from each other, it's vital to remember our humanity. So this is what we basically wanted to create, was a platform that we would be able to heal ourselves, and a platform for everyone else to also share in their healing as well. We wanted to give voice to, we wanted to hold a safe space for everybody. We wanted to express compassion, and I think just actually feel real empathy for ourselves and for everyone else over this time. So it's vitally important for us that, it's known that we don't see ourselves as experts or gurus in any way, but this is also just a way.
On anything.
Yes, on anything. All we can speak of is our experience. And as Carm says, certainly having spent the last year and a bit with you, Carms, we know we found a real sisterhood, and there's such value in sharing the good and the bad, and having an ear that listens to you without judgment, and is able to just walk the journey alongside you, no matter what's happening. And so, yes, this is for us, is for a space for everyone to log in, to weigh in, to delve in, and to walk this journey with us, to teach us as we're going, and just to have a beautiful heart space place.
And we wanted to center the show around a couple of things. Sami's mentioned some, but it would be conversation, celebration of whatever it is we're going through, communion, coming together, right? Building a community. I feel like, especially during this time, we're finding a lot of solace in these platforms, online shows. And also what we're really, really hoping for is an interactive space where you guys that are watching, comment and speak with us, because it's a chat show about stuff that matters. And we want to feed off of everyone and learn together. And a positive space where we welcome different opinions, but always with respect, right?
Totally.
And
Absolutely.
just, I think initially we're hoping to just be able to chat about a lot of stuff, and we think that our audience is probably going to be primarily entertainment for now, but we really hope that it can grow to other walks of life.
Totally.
Yeah.
And even just expanding on it, I mean, with these very clear crystal intentions, it seems to be a bunch of C's that have been strung together, crystal clear intentions. And as Carm says, the connection, and it is, to ourselves and to each other. And then when we're talking conversation, and that also means sort of healthy conversation with each other, and as she mentioned earlier, the sense of healthy conflict resolution,
Yes.
because often one can get, and especially being in lockdown, maybe, you're in lockdown with someone else and you're getting on each other's nerves. And so this is probably a place to vent, because you can't necessarily share what you're going through with them because they're going through their own issues. And then celebration, just because, there's a sense of don't judge yourself, no matter what you are experiencing over this time. The fact that we're merely surviving is something that you should be proud of, because we're merely surviving, and it doesn't matter what route you're actually taking to get to the other side of this. Just celebrate yourself. Understand that you're actually walking new territory. And then communion, as Carmen said, we're trying to create this community, and obviously we're going to be linking, like she says, with people in the performing arts, but a communion of women and beautiful, healthy, masculine energy as well. So we're creating this community because it's almost like fellowship, a sense of sharing. And I think that's so, so important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have an exciting kind of structure to the show, which we hope takes off. You guys will see. Yes. Stay tuned. And, it's 40 minutes at the end of a week. Just check in with us, check in with everyone. If you have a couple of girlfriends or boyfriends, male friends watching and whatever, be social with them while they're watching. But we're so happy to be here.
Soul Sister? Let's talk about what Soul Sister is.
Yeah. So what does that mean, Soul Sister? I mean, to some people it might be like, oh, like a roll of the eye, Soul Sister. Like, what does that even mean? So let's go into that. Like, why did we choose Soul Sister, Sam?
So basically we looked on Urban Dictionary, and then we modified it for ourselves, because obviously we wanted it to feel exactly right for the tone of the show. And so what we came up with was two or more females who just click, who can talk about everything from modern pop culture to existentialism. Who know without a shadow of a doubt that they were meant to meet in this lifetime to teach, uplift, learn from, support each other. We reminisce, we learn, we dance, we sing, we complain, we celebrate, we play, laugh, and dream together. And that is it.
That is exactly what the show is about. It's about all of that. And if you ever want us to repeat that, because that is for everybody. That's what connects Sami and I, and why we can chat so openly, but it's for everyone. So just say, repeat that again. Let's refresh while we're here. Yeah, so that's it.
And it's not about voulez-vous coucher avec moi.
No, it's not about that. Soul sister, hey sister, no. Soul sister. No, that's not what it's about.
Fine.
Also, what I want to say is navigating a new normal. That's our tagline, our slogan. So why did we choose that? Because not just because of COVID-19, the whole entire world has changed, but not just because of that. Every day, everything is ever changing around us. And the only thing that we ever can control, right, is how we react to these external stimuli, and to try and maintain an equilibrious internal space, mentally, physically, spiritually, whether you're atheist, Christian, whatever that might mean for you, is the place to from which you can operate at your best. So navigating through the change and finding a solid space within yourself, that's what navigating a new normal is.
Normal, whatever that is for you.
Yeah, whatever that is, and it's about going together.
Walking the journey alongside you, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So shall we start?
Okay. So everybody, so this is our first little section. So basically, every week we are going to have a pondering. So here goes, guys. Pondering. So what are we pondering today? Today we are pondering something that has been quite personal to me since I was a young child, actually struggling with this preconception notion, and that is the productivity conundrum, right? So what does it mean? What is the social pressure? There's many articles written about this, Huffington Post and Forbes magazine, blah, 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 about this emphasis on productivity and just an increasing pressure to utilize every time, every minute of the day, maximize it and get as much done as we can. And I found that during the lockdown, there was a sense of relief to like, holy moly, like, thank goodness I don't have to go anywhere. No one's going to expect me to be anywhere socially. I can't go to any audition. I can't do anything. Oh, I can just breathe. But then suddenly, after a week, I was scrolling through Facebook and it was like, these gifts. If you don't come out of this lockdown having A, learned a new instrument, B, learned a new language, and C, started your side hustle, then you didn't have time or you didn't make time. And that sent the fear of God in me. That sent me down an anxiety spiral. How do you feel, Sami?
Well, I mean, you and I are the same. We both suffered actually from a lot of anxiety before. And I think just the nature, I mean, first of all, personality aside, I think just being a freelancer, and anyone can attest to this, whether you're a performer or whatever it is, if you're a freelancer, there's this feeling that you can never actually take a holiday. Like you're always needing to hustle for work. And if you're not working and other people are, it almost makes you panic and get into this mode of, oh my gosh, why am I not working? I should be doing something. I should be. And so you're never really settling into that space of just like, being. And, Carmen, when we came back from the Chicago tour, and anyone who's been on a tour will know this, is that, you come back from this bubble and then you have to try and integrate yourself back into your life, which you sort of feel disconnected from because you've experienced so much together with other people, a whole other reality. You have connected with people that you're no longer spending so much time with. On tour, it's amazing because everything's taken care of. You know what you're supposed to do every morning. You wake up, you go and do a show, and you come back and you have each other to bounce things off. But there's no escape from it either, so that's the downside. But a lot of responsibility is taken away from you.
Yeah, you have your room cleaned for you. You have your breakfast made for you,
Totally. And so then coming back is like, oh my gosh, there's a whole other thing to navigate. And that's kind of settling back into life. And this was my first international tour. So I really battled with that. And so literally 2 weeks before lockdown actually happened, I was advised that I knew it, but I was advised to sort of maybe come home. And when I say come home, I mean, not just settling into our country, settling into my home and my sanctuary, but settling into my home and just finding the center within myself. And so I started doing that already. And this is not to say, oh my God, woe me. It's just that I realized I needed to do that. And so I immediately went into like no alcohol, started eating. I wanted to eat healthily and put my money where my mouth was. And I love animals. So I started, eating vegetarian. And then I found this amazing app on my phone. And that was incredible. It was like a life-saving app, because it kind of like set out this whole wellness app where it gave you a guideline of what you could actually do each day. And so it was like suggestions like wake up, do a mindfulness presencing exercise, reflection, yoga, remember to take time to eat healthily, remember to take time to laugh, remember to check in with people, maybe walk outside in nature, drink a lot of water. take the time to just chill and do nothing, and then take the time to do deep work if you wanted to. And each day was like that. So I settled into quite a lovely routine.
What is the app called?
If I can say it, it's Asana Rebels on.
Oh, that's a brilliant app. Yeah,
it's so good. And so that was helpful. And then I realized as lockdown happened, you're right, as lockdown happened and you start to see other people and what they're doing and you're thinking you're doing okay. And then suddenly other issues come up, like, for instance, oh my gosh, replaying things that had just happened on tour within yourself. How could I have done that better? Delving into like parts of yourself. And that's certainly what I did. And so it was almost like a forward motion and then a backward motion, a forward. And I think that's what we like as human beings. It's very dynamic, Coms. It's like you make progress and then suddenly something happens and you're taken back again. And then you make progress. And I think, so I have moments of feeling, I don't feel the need to be productive. I feel the need my pressure is, am I doing enough self-work? So it's like you said earlier, it was like, doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. It could be a world war. It could be whatever it is happening on the outside. What work am I actually doing internally? So that's my pressure. It's always like, am I keeping up? Am I being honest? Am I doing the work? And so I guess there's pressure there as well, And
I think that is, for someone like me as well, I do resonate with that. But that's like, it feels like another box to tick sometimes.
Totally.
And I was reading a lot about this. So I had this issue since I was young because I've always been someone who likes to achieve, as most of us performers are. We're driven by having to, meet goals and achieve. And I really found, and anyone who's ever lived with me or who knows me can vouch for this, that I will literally do what I can at work or in a workspace, and then I will disappear. Like I will not come out of my room. I will not be on my phone. I can't. That's just my way of conserving energy. And then with that, because of this productivity conundrum, this productivity myth, there's this pressure for someone like me to not take that time. And human beings operate better when they alternate between periods of intense focus and renewal. We know this. There's been countless studies done, right? And I think that a lot of us need to, especially in this time when we're stuck in our homes, start thinking about how we're separating that time out. And there's a really good article on Forbes.com by Ravel Davis, and she interviews a productivity coach. Yeah. I'll put the article on here. And basically, she just talks about managing one's expectations.
Right.
And this can go to your pressure feeling of internal work as well. Managing what are we actually expecting from ourselves today, this week, this month. And then also managing those of any stakeholders involved, whether it's your family, your employer, your pet, as much as you can, your kids. So I think managing expectations is the way we start to really make this feel a lot more comfortable. Yeah, because growth is out of your comfort zone. True, but it's just, how much time must we spend out of our comfort zones before we start burning out? Before the value that we give actually is no value at all because we're so burnt out.
Totally. Yeah, and I also think that one can only really start doing, like you said, renewal and growth, and it's really difficult when you're in the midst of stuff to sort of process quickly and then move forward. And a lot of the time, it's like, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and you can always go to, regret working on afterwards. But when you're in it, you're right. Sometimes you just need to stop all of the work, internally, externally, whatever, and just sit with whatever it is and just be okay with that. Because you're right. It's like, you can say it talks about it as well, like a time to reap, a time to sow. It's that kind of thing. It's a seasonal thing. The same way there's autumn, winter, summer, spring. It's like different phases of our lives, need different things from us. And that's okay. Whatever phase you might feel. In a day. Totally.
Absolutely. I don't know. I just find such power in managing my expectations of myself.
That is helpful. That's helpful. Thanks, Carmen. Yeah.
In whatever capacity that might apply,
for sure.
And I think I mean if anyone out there is remotely like myself or like Sammy, we often put unrealistic expectations upon ourselves, and it's just crazy. There's no way you can meet every expectation that you have of yourself. And once, we don't often even think to verbalize or write down what it is that we do expect of ourselves, but we just go about our day feeling more and more weighed down, not really knowing why. But when you take the time to go, okay, today I expect myself to finish X, Y, Z, and to wash the dishes, and to feed the baby, to feed the dog, whatever, then you've at least listed it and it's visible. And it's not overwhelming.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
I do. I feel like that. And I want to say as well, Carms, we're always going to weird accents, but, you and I are both so similar in that, like, we can, like you say, you shut down. I have a very different way. Like, you leave the theater and leave, and I hang around to be on my own. But we both love our own solitary time, this hermit kind of thing.
Yes.
So, like, we've actually been waiting for this whole moment our whole lives, and we should take advantage of it.
Yeah, and there's also guilt that comes with it, because I was like, is it wrong to feel such a sense of relief? Okay, I'm talking about like the first day or whatever.
Yeah.
But oh
my goodness, the whole world stopped and we can all just take a breathe in and relax. That's exactly how I felt as well. So, I mean, I just do think it's a good thing.
And we don't have to do anything,
We don't have to do anything.
But now we do. Again, life, that's not life. We don't live in a fantasy world. But yeah, I get you. I feel you. I felt that way.
and even this show is kind of like calling it a show. It doesn't even feel like a show. It really is just the value of having one tour and being able to communicate and like realizing how much that did help. And so wanting to, it's really more about the human side of it rather than the show aspect. I know we're both performers, but we've got so many other things going on as well. And so we want to work and move on now to another little section that we want to add in. And this is the next section. It's called Heart Space. And this is, we want to, again, really, really encourage people to communicate with us. And so here it is, Heart Space. Beautiful. Yeah, so it's a beautiful song. What we actually want is to say to you as well that if you need to share and you're feeling like you don't necessarily want your name to appear and you want it to be anonymous, so we've created for you a really cool platform. So if you go to www.unseen.live/, is that right, Carmen? Soul Sister. And there it is. And you just click on Ask Us an Anonymous Question. Or else you can also just visit m.qoo. Thank you. It's my eyes. I don't have my glasses on. .me and then /soul sister. And you can actually leave us messages anonymously and we will respond to them. And then also we just want to say, this is for anything that you actually want to share and you want to be anonymous. So it could be really deep stuff. If it is something that requires, the help of particular experts in sort of certain fields like mental health practitioners, then we'll certainly put you in touch with that. But in the meantime as well, just talking about, anxiety and depression, there is a very valuable website that you can go onto and a number you can call. And that's SADAG, that's South African Depression and Anxiety Group. And so if you need help there, by all means, please use that information and those contacts. It's really awesome. So shall we open the space? Are there any comments, Kami Wam?
Yeah. And I mean, the Heart Space is as our designated section to address any anonymous comments, like Sammy said, that did come through during the week. We had a couple that came through, which was really interesting. I mean, heart space is also, if you want to comment something, weigh in on what we're talking about, the pondering of the day, productivity conundrum, guys, weigh in, comment away. Yeah. But Sami, do you want to choose one of the heart space questions?
Oh, gosh,
from
I think you should answer that one.
So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think this might be a really good idea. Maybe we can have a beauty section. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. Look, my T-shirt says something about style diaries. You know,
amazing.
Carmen is really the one to ask about that. No. I mean, look at my hair in lockdown. But anyway, that's why I'm saying ask Carmen this first question, because look at my hair.
I love how she's deflected that upon me. It's cool. No, bikini line shaving tips.
I want to know who asked that. That shouldn't be anonymous.
First of all, do not share your bikini line. Oh, my word. Please, that would be an absolute I can't even think of a word.
Carmen.
It's
going on your hair growth. I mean, to get really graphic, and if you don't have a lot of hair, you're not.
You shave your bikini line? Does it work?
Yeah, it's fine, but like not at the moment because I don't have a partner, so it's really not.
Okay.
You know, in lockdown, you don't have to shave your legs, you don't have to shave your arms, you don't have to shave anything.
Well, tips. I mean, I suppose then, hey, Samantha says you can shave. I think that one shouldn't. Have had bad experiences in the past.
Okay, I'll take your advice.
Maybe you should wax then. But I wouldn't recommend doing it by yourself, because that also went tits up one day. So let's not, maybe get a professional to do that. But we are in lockdown, so perhaps shaving is going to be our only option.
So sorry, tits up. Okay. So how many pairs of shoes do you own?
Second question, how many pairs of shoes do you own?
Yeah, the second question, how many pairs of shoes do you own? I own a lot of shoes, but I've had them for years and years and years, and they literally fall apart when I throw them away because I have favorites that I can't get rid of. I bought an amazing pair of wedge high heel animal print shoes from Carmen's. She is styled.
Yes.
But I haven't had to wear anything in lockdown, so it's like really weird to talk fashion in this instance.
So she bought it from me because I was wanting to sell them because they didn't fit me. I inherited them from somebody, and I took them because they were beautiful and good quality, and they were a size 4.
Stunning. Yeah, they were Errol Arons babies.
Errol Arons, baby. Mm-hmm. So we just made a little deal, and Sami adopted them or bought them from me. Yeah. I probably have 100 pairs, and that's also from like traveling and buying over the last couple of 12 years of my life. I have an obsession.
Very good. But
it also does tie in. Thank you. It ties in with the fact that from wherever I travel, like those of you that know, let's say I've toured, I'll go and I'll try and find a traditional pair of shoes from that place. Mm. So those also count as part of the 100. So do the Moeg slippers from 19 Voetsak, and I've got a couple of those. So yeah,
the Gara
ones that I just can't throw away. Okay, Sami, we'll take another question. There.
Yeah, what is your greatest regret? So generally, when I look back on my life, I like to say that I don't have any regrets, because I managed to say everything happens for a reason, and often those really, really tough times have always been like the greatest teachers, greatest lessons, whether they're people, situations, events, or how I responded. In my recent past, I do have very big regrets, and some of those have been about taking things too personally, and then that triggers sort of a judgment. And I regret maybe being pulled off center and not keeping my blinkers on and sort of trusting my own path and just moving from that heart space. But I know as well, like I say, I always tend to choose a difficult path. I don't know what it is, if it's my my astrological chart of Aries, which is like sort of very impulsive and dives in head first. And I do have many head bashes and injuries to the head to prove it.
You have some
The
stories.
ram. I do. And I know that I like to test the waters and try and jump in and learn. And that's just the way I do things. So, yeah. So, no, I don't have any regrets long term. In the moment, though, I know to do better next time. That's what I do.
I have no regrets.
Regrets?
Yeah.
Do you, Coms? None, not one.
No, because
I love you.
I love that there are things that I've done wrong, certainly.
Yes.
But I was in a place where I would beat myself up for that. And now I'm just like, wrong but strong. Wrong but strong. We try our best. I mean, look, if I'm going to make a big hoopsie, then I'm going to feel bad about it. But I'm not going to, we both, I think, one shouldn't dwell on the past. I think the only regret that I don't have is that I didn't, no, I don't have one.
You know what's good about both of us? This is what we tend to do, is like we're so analytical of ourselves. And so like if there is any possibility that we might have been in the wrong, we automatically question ourselves, and then we make amends if we can, and then we take accountability, and then we forgive, and then we send love, and then we move on. And so if one can do that, there's nothing to regret.
I think that's exactly it. That's why I don't believe in regrets, because I kind of think that you have to go through those processes and then let it go. But don't leave a can of worms behind you and pile of dead bodies everywhere you go. That would not be a good idea. Okay, we have to. The last one.
Yes,
the last lie you told is the last anonymous question. I don't tell lies. I don't believe in lying per se. I think we all socially, perhaps, I don't know. This is a tough one because we all live in a society where we are diplomatic. So does that mean that you're a liar? But I will never say something that I've never said that I don't mean.
Yeah.
And I think that's in my life space that would be lying. I don't know, because I don't really tell lies. I believe in truth. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt of being a teenager, being a young, in my early 20s and living life, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, got you.
But I'm not really a liar.
All right. Well, you know what? We could deeply delve into that, but Carmen, you and I could spend an hour going down the rabbit hole, and we've already coming to the end.
You just don't want to tell your last lie. Okay.
Lies I lied to myself. Okay, there you go. Moving on.
Okay, so let's go to quote of the day. Quote of the day, everybody. That was it, guys. So for those of you who couldn't see that, I'm just going to pop it on the screen one more time. Take it in, write it down, reflect on it for the next week.
That's beautiful.
Right? Beautifully ties into Productivity Conundrum.
And then moving right on to the second last section, and we'll make this fast. Obviously, this was our first episode, and so we'll manage our time accordingly next time.
We also did start a bit late.
We did. Okay. And so basically what we wanted to share was just applications of mindfulness. And I thought it was really fitting in this moment to sort of do some breathing exercises, especially when we are facing a pandemic that actually relies on the respiratory system and also the earth and its breathing, the ability of the earth to now breathe. And I also find that it really works with anxiety and depression, and specifically if you find yourself needing to just calm down, deep breath in and deep breath out, because often you'll find yourself shallow breathing, and if you can just focus on your breath, do breath work, because it also focuses you into the immediate present tense, and I think that's really, really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then we've also got one little meditation for you if you want to go onto SoundCloud. And this is a meditation that is very, very short. And it's kind of, it basically deals with the same thing. It's about searching inside yourself. It's facing what's there with compassion. So if you want to go to this is really beautiful. And I find that these very short little meditations help you to just center, to calm yourself down, and that's quite amazing. So
meditation facing what's here with compassion.
Everything that cool. With you is something that we're going to do in the week, and then we will check in with you again next time.
Yeah. So this is all stuff that we're holding ourselves to as well. So remember that it all ties in with Productivity Conundrum. So if you've been feeling the way that we've been feeling, if you resonate, go through the little steps, read the quote of the day, do your meditation. And then the last section that we really want to leave everybody with to round the show off is our takeaway section. And this brainchild word, takeaway, was Sami's idea. And it literally is. It's like a burger and chips for you to take home.
Yes.
So here it is. Takeaway today is an affirmation. So let's apply that affirmation in as many ways as we can. So try and do this every day. Affirmations are so powerful, and if you've never worked with them before, I promise you, it might seem incredibly weird, or you might feel stupid to work with them if you've never done it before, but they are powerful. Why? Because our mind is constantly chattering away. And if we can somehow rein that in with something that centers it, brings it back to what we want to focus on, then it works beautifully. So the affirmation for today, get out your pens and papers, or just know that this is all being recorded, so you can refer back to the episode after we have finished. This is the affirmation for today. So before I show the affirmation, I want to ensure that one knows how to use them and really so that they help. And look, I'm no expert, but this is what helps us, what helps me and Sami. So often, if you don't have a journal or something that you write in, if you start your day, if you start that tomorrow morning with a blank piece of paper, journal or book or something that makes you feel beautiful binding and a colored pens, whatever, then start your day by writing it in your journal. I find I write it 3 times, and that helps me to have it set in. Then if you do find yourself in front of your mirror at any point during the day, why not saying it again? And that is then repeating it. And Sami said this beautifully when we were chatting about the episode. She said action and energy. So when you vocalize it, it gives it action because it gives it energy. You hear it. And then repeat it to yourself as many times as you need to throughout the day. And take this takeaway with you. Try and do it every day. It's really, really valuable. So here goes. And remember, it will be on the show afterwards, so don't worry about missing it. Cool.
Yeah,
thanks for tuning in.
Our first episode, and obviously we will grow with you, and we hope that you continue to log in and join us for this journey. Thank you, guys.
And please send us your plumies. And be bold, fellow sailors.
Travel safe, fellow voyagers. Lots of love.
You cut me loose and set me free. You cut me loose.